Welcome back to BeerFormers. This is episode 35. Still having fun making videos about Transformers and adult beverages. So, how you been?
It's been a pretty good week. How about you?
It's been a great time. To talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, to kick things off, we teased our last episode. We talked about the Power Dashers, the little pullback motor guys that were, I'll use the air quotes, freebies. Again, you had to pay something for them. But they were mail-in exclusives. That's probably a better way to describe it. Mail-in exclusives that you send in robot points for and a couple bucks, and they sent you a toy. And so we teased last time that we would talk about probably, arguably, in my opinion mostly, the most sought-after mail-in. Because this is the...
Those glasses.
My glasses. You mailed in with robot points to get these glasses here.
What do they transform into?
They transform into something that goes in your face.
Oh, okay.
Like this. No, so without beating around the bush too much more, Reflector is who we're going to be talking about tonight. Reflector was a huge character, at least in the first season of the cartoon. He was in almost every episode. He didn't necessarily have like a big role to play, but he was always there. And what was cool about him in the cartoon is that he was like the army builder of the Decepticons, in the sense that, there would be like a crowd scene of Decepticons doing something. There would be way more than the appropriate number of reflectors running around.
Why? I don't understand.
I guess just to fill out the scene, make the Decepticon army look better. Yeah, he's a Decepticon. For Reflector's a Decepticon. So again,
seems like a camera would be a good guy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That seems weird to me.
Maybe it's the spy aspect of it.
Maybe.
But Reflector, as Noel just alluded to, a Reflector is a 3 Decepticon combiner, but they only combine into their alternate mode, which is an old film camera. So, and you send out so many robot points, and for however much money.
You got all 3 of them?
It was a set.
Okay, so they all came together.
Yeah, they all came together. And this was, like the other mail-ins, this is the only way to get this figure. Okay. All right? And so, like, the Power Dashers never appeared in the cartoon, never appeared in the American comic book. They finally made their appearances in more modern comic books, and they were just trying to, like, pepper in as many characters as they could for a coolness factor.
Let's see it.
And the Omnibots, which I teased before, those, same deal. They were never in the cartoon. They were never in the comic book. But this mail-in one was. And here it is. This is Reflector.
Yay! Oh, he's not very big.
Not very big.
It's a tiny little camera.
Yeah, tiny little camera.
Can you really...
You can really look through it.
Oh, you can see
and
the viewfinder.
It does magnify a little bit, too.
And you click the button.
Yeah, the button makes a clicky sound.
Does it make a shutter splash?
No.
That's uh-oh.
It comes up by itself after a little bit, yeah.
I must broke another one of his toys.
So the toy here is very different than the way he appeared in the cartoon. The cartoon, there was basically one middle guy who had like a big circular thing in his chest, and you'll see why when we get to transform this guy. And the other 2 guys were depicted as basically clones of the middle guy, just without the circle thing in his chest. And like I said, in the cartoon, you would sometimes be like 15 reflectors running around for whatever reason. It was never explained. I think it was just there literally to make the Decepticon army look bigger. Because the initial run of Decepticons was way smaller than the initial run of Autobots. So Autobots had them massively outnumbered. So they kind of downplayed that a little bit by making it be that the Autobots were non-combatants by nature. They're
lovers, not fighters.
They've adapted to war out of necessity, but as the Decepticons were kind of born to war a little bit, So the fact that the Decepticons were outnumbered wasn't a big deal because they can handle it. So these 3 guys could come together to form this camera. Okay. All right. And so you mailed off, and that's how you got it. So let's go ahead and try to see if you can. First off, figure out how to take them apart.
Okay.
So each
I'm going to guess it just kind of pulls apart.
They just pull apart
like
each other, yeah.
Did they all have different names?
Yes. Okay. In the cartoon, no. In the cartoon, they were just called Reflector. And when one talked, they all talked. It's like they had like a shared mind or something like that.
Okay.
So that pops off.
Okay.
Yeah. This is, I'm going to get
Who's
these.
This first guy?
They get Spyglass.
That's a cool name. Ooh, he's a little loose.
Little loose. Well, he's an old toy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
This was put out several times from the freebie catalog.
Now, where does this go?
Nowhere anymore.
Oh, okay.
It can be a handheld. It's got a port there to hold it in his hand.
Okay.
And it's got a missile that doesn't shoot that goes in there.
Okay, so he's got a rocket.
And he's got a regular gun too.
Okay.
There's his regular gun.
Oh, that doesn't go in there very well.
Well, that's because it doesn't actually shoot. They had to disable the spring mechanism because in Japan it did shoot the missile.
Oh,
so once again, some kid got choked on a missile, and now none of us get to have fun anymore. Sorry if that was your family, but it sucks to have lose someone in your life. But I think they overreacted by making it like no one can ever have a missile launching toy anymore for a while there. So that's how you really feel this. Yes, this is a Spyglass. All right. So he's the blue one in this set. And again, in the cartoon, they were all purple. They were all just a generic purple. And so Together, they formed a team that was their job was espionage. They were spies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like
Go
that.
to the next one.
Okay, what's the middle guy's name?
That is.
Lens comes off.
Did I say Spyglass?
Yeah, you said that Spyglass.
No, Viewfinder. That's Spyglass.
Oh, okay. Viewfinder, Spyglass.
Viewfinder's the blue one.
And the next one's
Spyglass is the middle one.
This one's
He's
F-Stop.
Ostensibly, he's the leader since he's the middle guy. You know. But,
Ooh, that was cool how that kind of slid out like that.
And that his articulation's all at the shoulders as a result. And he's got a weapon that actually goes in his hand sideways because of where the peg is.
Okay.
You see the peg on the inside,
Like
the outside
like
actually.
this?
It's on the outside of the hand for whatever reason.
Oh.
No, it's on the outside of the hand. This would be the inside of the hand. That's the outside.
Oh, there it is. Inside, outside, up, down, clockwise. I don't understand directions. We figured this out today when I was trying to turn the hose on in the backyard. All right, here we go. There we go.
This is Spyglass. So yeah, he's I guess is the leader, and I think the animation model that they used was probably this guy essentially, but again with a round thing in his chest to simulate where the camera lens goes on.
Yeah.
On Spyglass.
Okay.
But and then they just made them all generic purple. So the last one is Spectro.
Oh, I was gonna say Shutter. Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Spectro, because you're taking in the light, to be able to make a picture with. This is an old style film camera for the young kids.
Yeah.
You actually had to put this stuff inside there called film that had chemicals on it that were light sensitive. And
this one was named Kodak Disc.
Yeah. And then people have to take it somewhere to have it developed to get your pictures.
There you go.
The dark.
This one's name is Fuji.
And here's his
Fujifilm. Okay.
Here's his gun.
Kodachrome.
So yeah,
man, I could go on and on with all my names for these.
So this guy's got lots of play in the comic books recently of years. You see this character a lot, or this trio a lot.
All right. Easy to transform, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially when I saw how
his
his shoulders slid open. That was neat.
And you get
but man, how did you not lose the pieces? I would imagine.
Imagine they're pretty hard to come by, especially like the lens.
Yeah.
I mean, the lens could go back on, but then that looks kind of weird from the side. Like
yeah.
He's got a weird pregnant belly or worse. But you can still look though. But yeah, this is a mail away, and it's like for a character that was like a major player in the cartoon at least. It was kind of interesting. That was the only way you could get them.
Yeah, that is.
They usually don't do that. I mean, I remember talking about G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
The first time you could get Duke was by mail-in, but they quickly rectified that. You could buy them in the stores too. You never could buy this in the store back in the day, at least. He's been redone a couple times. Usually it's been a little more lazy. Like they just have like one toy, and they kind of going off to the cartoon mold where it's like all three basically look the same. So they just find a toy that kind of sort of looks like it, and then they sell by threes. There was a bot kind of version of that a couple of years ago. Where it was like they took the mold for for Shockwave, this little laser cannon mode, and they found a way to Frankenstein it together and say, yeah, it's a camera now. Oh. So they just sold 3 of them, and say, the new head, and said it's Reflector. More recently, though, in the last 5-10 years, I can't remember exactly which line it was. I'll put it on the screen when I figure it out. They have put out these guys again. And they put them out in that same mold. You bought one, you had to buy it 3 times to be able to make the camera.
Yeah.
Okay? But then they put out a deluxe set where they had the original colors, different heads, and so I do have that one. So I might run over and get it real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, where's it at?
Yeah,
in our basement.
I'll run over and get it real quick when you get the beer.
I know you said that they had less Decepticons than Autobots.
The first couple of years.
Did they ever have an equivalent Autobot camera?
No.
Nothing like it? No spies in the Autobot side?
No, Bumblebee was the main espionage character back in the original lineup and stuff, yeah. So this was originally, like most of them, sold in Japan as part of their Diaclone or micro change line. And they bought this, but I don't know why.
They're kind of heavy.
That's because there's die-cast metal in the chest and stuff. Why the decision was made to make this strictly a mail-in? Yeah. Maybe that answers my question, because this was a main character in the first year of the cartoon. Everybody's going to want this one. We'll make a mail-in for it. Mm-hmm. That could be probably the answer.
It's
right
a reason
like
to get people to buy
like Hood and Cobra Commander too, and Duke and stuff like that.
So yeah, because to buy it you had to have points, right? You had to get points to buy other toys. Yeah. So it was marketing.
But it's just unusual in the sense that usually if someone that's again like the other mail-ins that we've talked about so far that had virtually no play in any kind of media, that we'll make these mail-ins, but to have someone who had a role. And not be available commercially on the shelves was a little bit weird, Yeah. So that's Reflector. Another little snapshot in the early years of Transformers. Like I said, this was up for mail-in at least 3 or 4 times. Like the first mail-in offer, which I had a picture of it, I'll put it up again, where you could get the Power Dashers, Downy Bots, and this.
Yeah.
And then you were able to buy some like regular Transformers that they had taken off the shelves. Like you could get like Ratchet and Ironhide through mail-in, and then they would bring back Reflector again. So it was available at least 2 or 3 times if I recall correctly, but never available just go and buy it off the shelf.
Well, that's pretty cool that you have it then.
And I'm not sure how many robot points it took, but I will make sure I put that on the screen when I do that.
Okay, so you're gonna go grab.
I'll go grab the new Reflector.
New Reflector. Yeah. That's cool. It'd be cool to see the original next to the.
I don't think I have it in camera mode. We probably don't have time to transform, but we'll put the new robots with the old robots, and you can see them side by side. So why don't you go grab the beer and start talking, and I'll duck off while you're talking.
Oh, okay. I can grab. Well, here's what we're going to talk about today, since we haven't had time in the last couple of weeks to make it out to another brewery. And I can't, mail away for beer, although that would be awesome. We picked up a variety pack from a brewery called Saugatuck, which is in Michigan. And what we got here was the cabin warmer variety pack, which was perfect for this week because it's a little unseasonably chilly around here in our part of the woods. But this pack was full of their heavier beers. It had a blueberry maple stout, a Neapolitan milk stout, a vanilla porter, and the one we're going to have tonight called the G.O.A.T, which is the greatest oatmeal stout of all time. We'll see about that. So, go grab a little of this.
You're taking off, and I'm back. So there you
go.
Right. We won't have dead air when we're not on the camera together.
Here you go. We're back.
Never really go.
So, I'm going to pour a little of this. Let's see how... Ooh, look how rich that is. That is an oatmeal stout, baby. Whoa, nice thick creamy head there. What can I tell you about Saugatuck? Which I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it.
It could be Saugatuck. Since
we haven't been able to go out there. So they opened their doors in 2005. They have 2 locations now. They outgrew their small space and in 2008 moved their entire operation to a 25,000 square foot facility. And they utilized a 10-barrel brew system from 2008 to 2013. And they distribute in 13 states. They include Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, Missouri, Kansas, Maryland, Tennessee, and of course, Michigan. They also distribute in Canada, the United Kingdom, the Ukraine, and China. So these guys are kind of all over the place.
And the 4 beers in this pack, we've had the Neapolitan stout before. One other time before. I can't remember exactly the circumstances behind it, but we've had that one before.
But I love what it says in the can, pride in every pour. I'm very excited to try this G.O.A.T. One of the things that is interesting about Saugatuck is that they have a brew on premise program where you can, and it looks like they have 3 brew pubs in their little chain, but let me see if I can find the information about, brew your own. What you can do is you can come to their brew pub. It's called Brew on Premise. They provide the recipes and the ingredients and the equipment and the expertise. And then you go there for a few hours, brew your beer, come back 3 to 4 weeks and bottle it. All right there.
That was going to be my question. How long do you have to wait before you get beer? Okay.
And
so I know you can make like mozzarella in an afternoon, but I don't think you can make beer that fast.
It says you can do it. They've got all kinds of styles of beer you can do. It says from summer wheats to bold reds, from IPAs to porters. It says you can use a beer you already know, or you can work with the beer brewmasters there to create your own beer. So that's a lot of fun.
That's kind of cool.
And it kind of plays out their creativity. You see when you look on their website, all the different kind of beers that they offer. They're constantly rotating, trying new things. And yeah, as far as stats go, these are some pretty interesting, flavors that you really enjoyed. That blueberry maple, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Neapolitan milk stout's pretty dang good too. So
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to try the vanilla porter, but
I have. It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
good and vanilla-y, like it should be. If I was going to compare it to what I would consider the best vanilla stout I've had before, that would be from Breckenridge.
Okay,
But you know, yeah.
But they're saying, but Saugatuck says that this is the greatest oatmeal stout of all time. That is a very bold statement. So why don't we give this a shot?
All right, here we go.
Smell it. Oh, it is very rich.
Very
It's got that. It's got that rich kind of
Corinthian
molassesy.
leather.
Yeah, and it's kind of molassesy, but not over sweet. That I expect from a stout. Chocolatey, little coffee.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah. There's not an aftertaste. It's just a smooth sweetness.
Kind of the roasty flavors is what I get mostly. You know, not chocolate, maybe chocolate a little bit. I don't know. You're the palate. I'm not. But
Well, it's a little like coffee on the front end to me, and then it just kind of evens out.
Yeah.
So, but very good, very creamy mouthfeel. So, excuse you, Ronan. Of course.
Ronan has to roll and stretch. Yeah.
But that's really good. So, I wish we had had a chance to swing by there on our trip to Michigan last summer. But they're right along the lake.
Yeah, they're on the western side of the Lower Peninsula on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Essentially, whatever town that would be. I don't think it's the town is Saugatuck. I think it's nearby. But
they're clearly, in it to win it with these wonderful beers. This little pack we got was great. It's wonderful being in Illinois where they distribute so we get to try their beers from time to time. But yeah, if you're in their area and can stop by their brew pub and have a glass or want to go brew your own, or you're fortunate enough to be in one of these states where you can pick up one of their 12 packs, one of their mixers, you're in for a real treat. This is very good. This is a dang good oatmeal stout, man. Kind of giving them. So it kind of reminds me of Civil Life's brown ale. But,
okay, yeah, I can see that.
But even a little cinnamony to me.
We'll go ahead and make a bold statement. This oatmeal stout is the GOAT. That's what it says on the side. So
yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
good. That's almost like a dessert in itself.
Well, I ran over and got the newest version. Okay.
Okay.
So as I said, this was sold as just like this. Basically, when you originally bought this figure, you got this, and you had to buy 3 of the exact same figure, much like it was in the cartoon, to be able to put it together and make a camera.
Okay.
But then, I guess due to fans saying, "Hey, what the heck?" They finally put out a special box set where they put them out in the original colors.
Oh,
Like that,
yeah,
okay? They still got the same head.
Yeah.
You see all that? We'll put it up on the screen, right? But
that was Viewfinder.
yeah, so we got Spectro, Viewfinder, and Spyglass.
Spyglass.
Yeah. But they came with all the parts to be able to make that whole camera. So
it looks like his shoulders even popped out.
Yeah, they added these parts for him. When you originally got the middle guy, he didn't have these shoulder pieces.
Okay.
They added the flash bulb for this one. They added parts for this guy to be able to make it look more like camera. Like there's the film advance knob and stuff like that. These were all exclusive to this box set.
Yeah, you used to have to spin a little wheel, kids out
to
there.
Advance the film.
Yeah, to make it when you took a picture to make it go to the next piece of film to expose when you press the shutter.
And these have a third form too. Each one can form like a little hovercraft Cybertronian vehicle.
Okay, that's different than these.
That's why they got these little skids on the back.
Okay.
So yeah, these guys can only form the part of the camera.
Yeah.
So like most things, they found a way to kind of improve on it a little bit.
Did these all come together in a set?
This was a box set here.
Okay.
If you didn't buy the box set, which was I think it was an exclusive to like Hasbro Pulse or something like Amazon, something like that. You had to buy the figure. You had to buy it 3 times to be able to make the camera.
Yeah.
But there was nothing different about the 3 times. You just bought one figure 3 times and made a camera.
Oh.
The guns formed the tripod, so they all click together from the tripod. So I guess it's kind of cool how they redid it.
That is
usually
cool.
the redone figures with the modern tooling, modern styles, they can do some cool stuff that they couldn't do back in the day. So this is probably the best version of Reflector that's been re-released over the years since the original Reflector came out. So as we get ready to wind things up here, we want to thank you again for stopping by and checking in with us. If you have any, if you would like to know about any other specific Transformer they haven't covered yet, drop us a line and let us know what that is.
And if there's anything you'd like us to try, beer-wise or spirit-wise, please put a note down there. Have a conversation with us. Give us a response. Let us know what that is. I'm always looking for new ideas.
And, unless you're new to YouTube, you know the drill. Hit all those buttons. It really helps us out. It gets the algorithm going on us so we can get more views and things like that. So hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you know when stuff comes out. If you
Mom needs more money for beer.
Yeah. We're not making any money off these videos, that's for sure. It'd be nice.
Mama needs more reasons to go drink beer.
But we hopefully, as springtime goes up, we'll start getting out and hitting new places again. We just haven't had a lot of time lately with life and kids and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to hit more new places and have some more pictures to show of us checking out new and fun microbreweries. So as we wrap up again, if you'd like to know more information about Just Reflector, go to tfwiki.net. Check out Chris McFeely's channel on YouTube called The Basics On. He has one on Reflector, I'm pretty sure. But as we kind of close out the evening. Oh, by the way, we're filming this on May 4th, so May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
But as we say, please play responsibly, drink responsibly, and thanks for checking us out here on. Cheers!